Hi all, welcome to session 37 of Azure Data Factory, and in this session we are going to take a look at switch activity. As the name of the activity suggests, it actually works like a switch condition in any programming language. So a switch case is basically used in a situation where you have a variable, and based on the different values that variable will hold, you want to perform a different set of steps. Okay, so the example that I can relate to is, suppose you have a variable which stores days of the week, and days are represented by number 1 to 7, where number 1 stands for Monday and 7 stand for Sunday. So if you are giving 1, that means you are talking about Monday, you want to perform certain steps. Again, if you want to give number, let's say 3, you are talking about Wednesday. So likewise, if you have multiple such conditions based on one variable, you can use switch, and it is very efficient, because if you have suppose 10 values, you have to use 10 if else condition. That is not very efficient. So switch case is very good in such scenarios where you have multiple values for one variable. Okay, so as the definition of the Microsoft says, the switch activity provides same functionality that a switch statement provides in programming language, and it is very simple also. So I will not take much of your time, so let's get into hands on. Let me create a new pipeline. So I'm going to create a new pipeline, and simply going to use a set variable activity first. And in this, I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to say day of the week, and it is going to be an integer. Okay. So the example that I was talking about, I'm going to implement the same in my pipeline. Okay, and I'm going to take the value for day of the week from the user. So for that, I am going to initialize this variable by a pipeline parameter. So I do not have any parameter, I will create one. I am going to say pipeline parameter in order to differentiate between the name of the parameter and name of the variable. And I'm going to say int. By default, I'm going to say 1. Okay, so this way I'm going to take the input from the user for this variable. After that, I'm going to take a switch case, and I'm going to put it here. Okay, now I'm going to define a new variable with name message and type string. So it is going to basically give me a message based on the day of the week that I am providing as an input. So it is going to be of string type. Okay, now everything is ready. Let me change the name of this activity, send the message. In activities, first it is going to ask you an expression. So let me add that expression. I think I need a variable, so let me just remove this. I'm going to say day of the week. So here you can see there is a default, and after that you can have multiple cases. So you can add multiple cases. Let me add around 7. So I'm going to add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are total 7. For default, let me just start with the default, and I'm going to say set variable activity, set error message. And in this case, I am going to send a message that invalid input by the user. Okay, now I am going to go for case 1. So here you are going to define the possible values that can be given to this variable. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Second, it is little hard for me to use this UI, Let me do that. 7, 6, and 5. And please remember that this activity I have not seen much use in pipeline. It is there, but I have not seen a case where you have to use switch case, until unless you want to do something very programmatic. So that you can do in your code or in your transformation activity. You don't have to use this kind of construct in pipeline, but still you should know. Now let me go to my first case, that is case 1. I'm going to do the same thing. Monday message. Again, message. Let me see. I think I used day of the week in my default, but still, you see, yeah, it should be message. Should be message. Invalid input. Cool. Message, and I'm going to say Monday. Okay. I'm going to copy it so that I can paste quickly. I will say Tuesday. Settings. Tuesday. Wednesday. I'm simply using an example to give you the feel of switch case. I will again repeat that it is not that much used in pipeline, but you should know this can be handy sometime. Okay, I'm going to say Wednesday. Okay, four. Okay, I think four are done. Four more to go. Thursday, Friday, Friday. Now two more, I guess, Saturday and Sunday. Yes, so let me just do a copy here, paste Saturday, done, and last but not the least, Sunday. That is the last case. In which case, Sunday, Sunday, done. Okay, let me just validate. Everything is okay. Yes, everything is looking good. I'm going to say PL switch case demo should be the name of this pipeline, and I'm going to publish. So again, I'm repeating myself. What we are trying to do here, we are taking the input from user, setting a variable which is going to give us the day of the week, and based on the value that this variable holds, we are going to print a message. Okay. So as you can see, if you have multiple cases in the switch case, your activity can be pretty, long. So try to avoid switch case as much as possible, and if you have to use this, I would suggest you use it in your transformation of some sort, but avoid this here. Okay. Let me, where did it go? Let me close it and reopen. Switch case. Okay, fine, cool. So now let me trigger this. So for now, I am giving, let's say, value 10, which is outside of our valid input range. So let's see what happens. It failed because inner activity failed. So let me see what happened here. Okay, send the message. It failed. It really happened. Okay, let's see. Variable day of the week. Okay, it is looking okay. I don't see any problem here. Let me do that one more time. Let me see. Yes. Okay, so we have to give string here, and I have given the integer. Let me just change it. Okay, let me do debug one more time. Yep, so it worked. Okay, so there was an error in the data type. So technically, the expression in the switch case should return a string output, not the int output. So because of that, it was giving me a problem. Let me just publish the change. Cool. Now let's trigger the pipeline. I will first give the out of the range input, and let's see what happens. Succeeded. Set error message. So we got an error message, invalid input. And after that, if I give, suppose, let's say 6, so it should give me Saturday as a message. Saturday message. Okay. So this is how you can use switch case in your pipeline, but make sure that your switch case should be as compact as possible. If you have, like, let's say 100 different values that you want to give in switch case, I would recommend that you should try something else. Instead of using this, you should use lookup or something like that, because after a certain number of values, your switch case will become very hard to see on your screen and very hard to work with. Okay, so just to recap what we have learned, switch case is like switch case in a programming language where you want to perform certain operations based on the value that a variable holds. Okay, so an example that we used here is of day of the week, where you are giving number as a day of the week, and based on that number, pipeline is giving you the output, or like the day that particular day of the week represents. Okay, so this is for today's session, and please like, share, and subscribe, and comment your feedback so that I can improve my content. And let's meet in the next session, and there we will cover the last activity in hydration and conditions, that means until activity. So until is like a while loop, but we will discuss about that in the next session. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's meet in the next session.